The disappearance of Brandon Swanson. On the night of May 14th, 2008, a phone call ended with two words. Two ordinary words. But they were the last words anyone ever heard from Brandon Swanson. Brandon Swanson was 19 years old. He was a college student in Minnesota. Quiet, friendly, the kind of guy who didn't get into trouble. That night, Brandon had been at a small gathering with friends. Nothing wild, just talking, drinking a little, passing time. Sometime after midnight, Brandon decided to drive home. He never made it. At around 1:30 a.m., Brandon's car went into a ditch on a dark rural road. The car wasn't badly damaged. Brandon wasn't hurt. So he did what most people would do. He called his parents. Brandon told them he was fine. He said he didn't know exactly where he was, but he could see lights in the distance. He believed he was near a town. He told his parents not to worry. He would walk toward the lights. They would come pick him up. Brandon stayed on the phone with his father. For over 40 minutes they talked. Brandon walked. His father listened. They tried to figure out where he was, but something didn't add up. As Brandon described what he saw, his father became confused. The landmarks didn't match. The directions didn't make sense. Brandon thought he was walking toward one town. In reality, he was heading in the opposite direction. Still, Brandon kept walking. He crossed gravel roads, fields. He mentioned fences. At one point, he said he could hear water. Everything seemed calm, too calm. Then, suddenly, Brandon stopped talking. There was a pause, and then his father heard it. Two words spoken quietly. "Oh, shit." The call disconnected. That was it. No scream, no crash, no explanation. Just silence. Brandon's parents immediately called the police. Search teams were sent out at first light. They found Brandon's car. They searched the surrounding area. Fields, ditches, rivers, nothing. Days passed, then weeks. Search dogs were brought in. Helicopters flew overhead. Volunteers walked mile after mile. But Brandon was gone. Investigators later realized something chilling. Brandon had been walking through dangerous terrain, unmarked ditches, mud flats, cold water. It's possible he fell into a river or a drainage area, but no body was ever found. No clothing, no trace. Even today, Brandon Swanson has never been located. No remains, no confirmed explanation, only a phone call that ended too soon. His parents still listened to that moment, those last two words, over and over, trying to understand what Brandon saw. What happened in those final seconds. Some people believe it was a tragic accident. Others believe something else happened out there in the dark, but without evidence. The truth remains lost. One thing is certain. Brandon Swanson didn't disappear quietly. He vanished in the middle of a conversation, and whatever happened to him happened while someone was listening. This story doesn't end with answers. It ends with silence and a call that never came back. This is a dark chapter.